I'm George Curtis. Welcome to It's Your Law. Each week it's my privilege to bring guests that teach me something and make me think a little differently, and I hope the people who watch it get the same result. Service is the price we pay for the time we're privileged to have in this great country and on this planet. I've got a guest today who believes in service. His family believes in service. But their choice of service might be different than your choice of service, or for that matter, mine, and that's what makes it intriguing. My guest is Sheriff John Matz. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I don't know you very well, but I've known a bit about your service. You actually joined the armed forces, which is a fairly rare thing in a country where it's so easy to get out of the draft and not serve, and it certainly doesn't pay very well, and you risk your life, and you might end up fighting a war that you don't even believe in. And not only that, your philosophy about volunteering for the service is carried on to family members, and I was amazed in an earlier show that you'd actually served together with a son. The risk of that to the family is scary to me, but it's so unusual. But in addition to your interest in defending the country and being a volunteer in the armed forces, you're drawn into law enforcement, and you've had a great career in law enforcement, including being a sheriff, being elected as sheriff, serving as sheriff, running for county executive, not winning that election. And then I read in the paper that you're going to retire from being a sheriff and do something else. I'm going to find out what else. But let's begin at the beginning of the story. What drew you into volunteering to serve your country as a soldier?
Well, I had finished 1 year of college, recognized that although I academically was okay, I still needed a little bit of direction. And I got that as soon as I got off the bus at Fort Sill, Oklahoma. I got that direction immediately from about 6 drill sergeants who recognized, I don't know how, but they recognized I needed it. So, that part of the service was, I did it, yes, to serve my country, but also to change a course of direction for myself.
And what would your age be at that time?
I was just turned 19 years old.
And your background, your family did what kind of work? And
my father was a farmer up until I was about 5 years old. Then he worked for the National Farmers Organization and was a milk inspector field man. My mom was a nurse's aide, and I have 4 siblings. They're all older, so we did not have a lot of money. I don't, in today's dollars, I'm sure we would be poverty level, but I never knew that because we always had something to eat. But didn't have, the nicest of clothes, but a great childhood, one that was, I was kind of rambunctious, so that direction I got at the age of 19 was sort of a culmination of my teen years. So, great upbringing. My parents did a great job.
So now you're in the service. Where did the government send you, and what did they train you to be?
I went to Fort Sill, Oklahoma, and I spent about 6 months there as a forward observer for field artillery. So we would call in artillery, both howitzers, mortars, helicopters, planes, so all kinds of different things. To me, it's the best job in the military because it was fun.
And how long did you serve?
I served a total of 30 years. There was a break in my service when I was a first sergeant in 2004 and retired with 21 years in, and then I got back in 2007, so about a 3-year break.
And other family members have followed you?
Yes. My oldest son and I deployed to Iraq together in 2009 and part of 2010. And my youngest son has served in Afghanistan, and tonight will be coming home from a campaign in Iraq.
Well, that should be quite a celebration at your house tonight.
It will be.
And you haven't lost any family members?
I have not.
Well, that is indeed fortunate. Now, is it the same genetics that got you into law enforcement, the same instincts, or is it something somewhat different?
No, I think it's the same. You know, I recognize that service is part of innate, what's innate in me. I can tell you that from a law enforcement perspective, from a military perspective, when I see the flag and I see or I say the Pledge of Allegiance or the national anthem, it means something very different. I can't explain it, and I'm sure others feel it too that haven't served. But that sense of pride and service to our country and to the citizens here in Winnebago are, part of what drove me into law enforcement as well.
Well, as I recall, and I could be wrong, you could totally shoot me down on this one, you have been a Republican politically. Mm-hmm. Is there a relationship between your sense of duty to your country, your family, your community, and the tendency that Republicans have to be a little more conservative and traditional and historical than us wild-ass Democrats?
Well, I don't know that, I don't, as the sheriff, I don't look at decisions or make decisions based on a party at all. What is best for the 172,000 people that live here? So if their public safety is better served making a decision, that is a decision I'm going to make. And that may not agree or align with the Republican Party or the Democratic Party, but it's what aligns with their public safety.
Good point. Our first 8 minutes are gone, and they went in a hurry thanks to you. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back, and we'll talk about the next step that you took here in Oshkosh. You ran for executive of the county, and which was a kind of a brazen move. We'll be right back. There's so much legal advertising out there that people have to be befuddled and confused as to how to choose a lawyer. Of course, the old system was you called the clerk of courts and found out who was really trying cases. Because insurance companies know whether you've got a lawyer that tries cases or just pretends to be a movie star. You need someone that is willing and able and happy to take your case to a jury if need be. Welcome back to It's Your Law. I'm George Curtis, and John Matz, our sheriff for the moment, is my guest, and that's a delight. I really didn't know Sheriff Matz very well until some recent election when he declared, to my surprise, that he was going to run to be county executive. And now that's a whole different game. And what caused you to throw your hat in the ring for that?
Well, I saw some things that were happening in the county that I didn't agree with, I didn't like, that were, I believe, to be dysfunctional, some things that needed to change. And rather than complain about it, rather than, sit on my hands, I decided to, seek the office of county executive. And
you ran an aggressive campaign. You put your ideas out there, and I don't think it's your nature to just be out smiling and complimenting people without meaning it and shaking a lot of hands. And you ran a good race, but you didn't win. How do you feel about that?
Well, I feel fine. I think I brought forth some issues, made people aware of some issues, gave some ideas to both candidates that ultimately moved on. And, the county's financially, we will always look to save money. But I think in the upcoming years, there will be some tough financial decisions. And I think part of that campaign was, what direction do we need to go? I mean, we were given the UW extension, and Menasha was just kind of thrust upon us with, it closing, and now what do we do with that? And trying to get that back on the tax rolls, I think, is the most important thing to do with it, while still preserving maybe some of the cultural opportunities that exist there. I think you can do both, and that was one of the things that came forward in the campaign.
Well, I think the most important office that any of us can have is the office of being informed citizen. And you certainly are that. And your participation changed that debate for county executive. And so you didn't win it in terms of the number of votes. You may have won it in that you caused the other candidates to adjust their position, deal with your issues. And I thought after it was over, okay, that's fine. The voters have decided, and we still got a sheriff who's a real sheriff. And then I find out, well, not for long. You're announcing that you're not going to be sheriff some more. Tell us about that.
Well, when I finish, which will be, I think, officially January 2nd of next year, I will have 37 years in law enforcement, 16 as the sheriff. And in terms of law enforcement years, I'm well beyond what a normal law enforcement official would or officer would stay in the field. And recognize that, as in the military, about every 3 to 5 years, there's a change in commanders, and I think we're ready for that change. Certainly, we're very effective. I'm extremely proud of everyone that is employed at the sheriff's office. I'm very proud of what we've accomplished over the last 16 years, but it's time for me to step down, let someone else take the reins and move forward.
Well, you're still going to train a bird dog, shoot a gun, get involved in the community, criticize things you don't approve of, and you're kind of judgmental, if you don't mind me saying it.
Yeah, very much so.
So you're going to be active, and the people in Winnebago County are either going to get the plus or the minus from it. What do you see your life being? You're a pretty healthy looking guy.
Well, yeah, exactly what I'm going to do. If there's another career that I start, that I haven't determined. And I still am engaged, very much engaged at the sheriff's office, obviously. I am supporting one of the candidates. I'm trying to, or he is very prepared for the position. But, putting the final tweaks on whatever we need to do for the next administration to come in and be successful. But yes, I am very vocal, and one thing that I have learned is that when you make decisions and you make them for the best interest of the people that live here, you can be bold, and you should be bold, and you should be outspoken. When things are done in the back room and are done in secret, that's no way to run any type of government agency.
What is your point of view that you would give to this audience about each individual's duty as a citizen? Awareness, participation, vocalizing, putting your hat out to run, educating. What are your thoughts? It seems to me that all too many of our population, including members of my own family, sit back. I've got enough money, I'm going to retire, I'm going to get a motorhome or something like that. You aren't that kind.
No, I think being educated about whatever it is that you're passionate about. I'll use ICE as our involvement with ICE in the 287G program. Be educated about what we're doing. There were people that were very outspoken, did not agree with being involved in the 287G program, and were vocal at meetings, but then left before I was able to explain what exactly we're doing. You don't have to agree in the end, but listen to the perspective. I listened to their perspective when they spoke. I took it into consideration, but then listen and make an informed decision. You can still be passionate about it. You can still disagree, but be informed. And I think if we can get our population to be informed and be able to listen to someone else and disagree, but agree to disagree.
I'm glad to hear that. We've just finished our second 8-minute session, and what I'd like to do when we come back for the final session is to hand you another profession. You've had a few. I want you to be a teacher. I want you to tell the people here that agree with you and don't, and there are some that don't, what you think they should be thinking in teaching their children about the responsibility of being a citizen in this country that I hope is going to continue to be great. We'll be right back. If you are involved in an accident, immediately dial the authorities so the experts can get to the accident scene and protect the scene, and more importantly, protect the people who may be injured. Check on the other occupants in your car before you do anything else. Stay in your car, if at all possible, until the experts arrive. They're trained professionals, the police, the ambulance people. Then go to the hospital and get checked out, and that includes even the people in your car who don't think they're hurt. Often due to adrenaline, they don't realize that they have serious injuries. After you have been checked out, call a lawyer that does this kind of work. The insurance companies are already busily trying to destroy your case. You need somebody on your side who's a real pro to protect you and your family. Welcome back to It's Your Law. John Matz, our sheriff, who's much more than a sheriff. He's a public servant. He's a family man. He likes to chase bird dogs and live in the out of doors, and he's lived a full life, and he's just warming up. He's going to retire from being a sheriff and be a citizen. And that's what I'd like you to take this last 8 minutes to talk about. What do you see as the responsibility of a citizen in this country if we are going to make America great or keep it great, or however you feel, make this the best place in the world for our grandchildren to live?
Well, I think being informed is the first step. Be informed about the issues that exist and both sides. Listen to both sides. Listen to the issues, or educate yourself on the issues. Educate the pros and the cons, and then make up your own mind. Don't follow a group. Don't become an activist just to become an activist. Know what you're actually protesting. And if in fact you are educated on what you are protesting, and if in fact you believe that what you are protesting is something that needs to change, I support you. I may not agree with you, but I support you. But be informed. And as a young person, I think service is something that every young person should participate in. Service to our country, service to our community. It can be something as simple as, there's a young man that I met that is on the Oshkosh Common Council. I believe he is 27 or 28 years old, and that's awesome. Now, I don't necessarily maybe agree with his political beliefs. I maybe have a different perspective, but I listened to his perspective, and it actually educated me. I don't know everything, regardless of what I sometimes think. And listening to him, I actually got a different perspective of where he's coming from. And it kind of moved me a little bit. It moved my dial a little bit. So as a young person, find a way to serve our community. It can be something very simple. It can be something that maybe some people find insignificant, but certainly also think about the military. Service to our country, when you look at how it started and how that service started, there's nothing greater.
Well, you touch on a number of points there, and I think that one point I'd like you to elaborate on is talking and listening to people who disagree with you. And that seems to be, we don't have to get married to find somebody who disagrees with us. And we can learn from their point of view that maybe we should reconsider our point of view. And you've done that as sheriff, you've done that in your campaign for county executive, and you're going to continue to do it. In fact, that's the next step. What will the next 10 years look like?
I haven't really decided. I do know that there will be a lot of pheasant hunting occurring, dog training, and home projects, but that'll only go so far. I'm sure that at some point I will find some other passion that isn't related to the service to our community. What that is, I don't know.
Service is in your blood. Mm-hmm. Now, there are other activities in the community that require volunteers. And by volunteering and listening to people who see things differently because it might be their priority while it isn't yours, mm-hmm. That's something that we can all do. Briefly, I was on the library board. That's many years ago when I lived in Oshkosh, which I don't anymore. And I was amazed at these smart, opinionated people who were passionate about what books we have available and shouldn't have available, in mm-hmm. their opinion, in the library. That's just one example.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. People will be surprised that when they start to listen to different perspectives, how their needle moves maybe just a little bit. I'm not a total shift probably, but the needle moves a little bit, and there's some more, maybe there's some compassion, or there's the perspective changes a little.
Your thoughts on how it's working today with, we have a city police force, we have the county sheriff's department, we have the state, the AG, we've got the feds, now we've got this ICE thing that has mm-hmm. become a major controversy. Are we sick? Are we well? Are we learning? What's your thought?
Well, I think I think we're learning. I think that certainly we had some very tumultuous times in law enforcement. It's one of those professions where the entire law enforcement community pays for the sins of one particular officer, law enforcement officer, and that tends to last a lot longer than other professions. So I think sometimes when things are going well, we shoot ourselves in the foot. One individual will, and it hurts us for a period of time. And I think we have learned from those things, and I think we're getting better, and we will only get more professional.
Well, because of my age, I hope that's a good excuse. I'm overwhelmed by technology, mm-hmm. but technology has really revolutionized law enforcement, hasn't it?
Absolutely. I've seen the so many changes. I got a radio, a car, and a gun, and that was about it. Then we went to computers in the car, et cetera, and now most recently the automated license plate readers, cameras, which the city council has voted to end the contract with the current vendor. There's controversy there, but certainly out of my 37 years of law enforcement, that is the greatest change in law enforcement that I have seen.
We're out of time. I want to thank you for a lifetime that's just beginning, a lifetime of public service. I hope you have great health, a great German short hair, and you improve your shooting and get you on the show again. Thank you, Sheriff. Congratulations on your career.
Thank you.
And thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Ever hear the word subrogation? ERISA? Liens? If not, you need legal representation in handling your case, because there are so many contractual payers of some or part of your losses, lost wages, medical bills, for two examples, that are entitled by contracts to get their money back out of your recovery after you spend the money on a lawyer, on doctors, on a trial. They have a claim to get some or all of their money back. We spend a third of our time fighting those subrogation claims. It takes a professional. Otherwise, you take the risk, you spend the money, you win the case, and then you get to give the money back. The reason it doesn't sound fair is because it isn't. You need a pro on your side to make sure it doesn't happen to you. Sheriff Matz teaches us the lesson that you can never retire from your job and responsibility as a citizen. You may not be working for money or much money. You may be taking care of the grandchildren, but you never stop being a citizen. Reading, studying, listening, arguing, contributing, and making this country the great country it can be if we all assume our responsibility of service to this country. I'm George Curtis, and I feel strongly about that.